I listen. Arsenal 5, Crystal Palace 1. That was an absolute smoking. Gabby Jesus, 5 goals in 2 against Palace. He's the Palace bully. I ain't even gonna lie. But listen, before we get into it, make sure you do subscribe to the channel and also make sure to hit that like button. Let's get to about 250 likes or so. We're not too far from 14k as well, so subscribe to the channel. But listen, man, let's get into the game. Let's talk about Arsenal versus Palace. First of all, credit when due. Credit when due. 5 goals at Selhurst Park under the lights. Now, let's not, and you know what? Before the haters start saying, oh, it was only Palace, it was only Palace. Palace were unbeaten in the last 5, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Palace, with their free back of Lacroix and Gahey and whatnot, those guys are doing well. And Henderson's been pulling off some good saves as well. I don't think Henderson pulled off a single save in the game. I'm not going to lie. Most shots were bottom corner or obviously unlucky with the rebound, but very good and well-placed finishes in the game from the goal scorers. Obviously, Martinelli getting the goal from Rice's shot. Rice putting it bottom corner. Gabby Jesus with the opening 2 as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And so who got the other goal? Who got the other? Kai Havertz, of course. Yeah, sorry. Kai Havertz with the one with the Gabriel Jesus header. He was very unlucky not to get his hat-trick, by the way. Misses a sitter, and obviously the header comes off the post. But genuinely, this was an absolute battering. And obviously, when you get a major injury in the game, because listen, we are going to talk about the injury. Bukayo Saka pulled up with a hamstring injury. We don't know whether it's grade 1, 2, or 3. If it's grade 2, probably looking about 4 to 6 weeks. If it's grade 3, then good couple of months. Hopefully, it's not for too long. But yeah, Bukayo Saka going off injured, obviously, that being proper bad news for Arsenal. But to then have your best player or your most effective player, anyways, go off injured and then go and score another 4 goals. Go and score another 4 goals. Listen, this is where you need to give credit because a lot of teams maybe either would have folded or, you know, kind of played within themselves, and you can see that the injury affects the team. I think what Arsenal did very well today was carry on playing their football and grind Crystal Palace down. And as I said, if you go and look at the previous video, you can see it. It says, it is titled, Gabriel Jesus must start the next game. Go look at it. Go look on the channel. Not now, watch the video first. But yeah, he must start the next game because I generally feel like when he plays, even though his finishing is questionable, and that's an understatement in general, not recently, obviously, like the way he moves, his first touch, the drop of the shoulder. I'm not saying he's the most amazing footballer in the world, but the jinky majink that he's got, the little technicalities in his game. As I said, he knits the attacks together. The ball can go into his feet. He can hold it up. You know, he can get in behind. He can do a bunch of things in that position. Obviously, the issue with Arsenal is that what's missing is the goals. And those are very important because, let's be honest, Saka's the only real proper goal scorer for Arsenal. So the pressure kind of falls on either a Martinelli or a Trossard or a, you know, or Gabby Jesus or a Kai Havertz. And Kai Havertz isn't scoring as much, even though he started in midfield today. He's not scoring as many goals. So those goals have to come from somewhere else. Now, are we saying that Gabby Jesus is going to be playing and scoring all these goals now? We don't know yet. It's only been 2 games, and it's actually only been 1 Premier League game. But 5 goals in your last 2 games, that smells like form to me, or he's definitely creeping into form. You can't hate on what man's doing, bro. You can't. You generally can't. Odegaard for me was very quiet today, and he is Arsenal's best player, and I do actually expect a better performance from him. But again, I say this with Chelsea, so I'll keep the same energy with Arsenal. When your best player is not performing or hasn't performed well or is average performance, not bad, but just average, and not playing to those scintillating levels that they've set for themselves, and you're still knocking in 4 or 5 goals, then there's a positive in that. Do you know why? There's positive in that because it shows that you can get the goals from other places. It's just about how consistently you can do it. Chelsea have been doing it very consistently this season, where Palmer hasn't really dazzled us with performances 24/7, but Chelsea is still knocking in goals up, right, left, and center. Arsenal today have showed an example of that. Jesus, what, 4 different goal scorers today? 3 different goal scorers today. Calafiori getting an assist. Gabriel getting a somewhat assist. You know what I'm saying? Rice getting an assist on the goal coming off the bench. You know, they Arsenal were able to rotate in certain positions. Skelly starting today. Skelly performs well, in my opinion. You've got a Crystal Palace side who, again, make themselves very hard to beat. Liverpool, we beat them 1-0. Yes, it was a difficult game and, you know, few missing. But at the end of the day, they made it very difficult for us. And Arsenal made this game look very easy. So you got to give them their credit in that sense. I do want to talk about Gabriel and Saliba. Obviously, the difference between Kiwior and Saliba and Gabriel and Saliba is absolutely night and day. Night and day. He nearly scores from another corner. Like Gabriel is a monster. He's an absolute monster. And I think the way he defended today was good. There was one incident in the first half, of course, as well, where Mateta nearly scores, and that's at 2-1. Now, if that goes in, I think the game does look a little bit different. And especially because the ball comes from Sarr. The pass isn't the greatest. It's a mistake from Saliba. Mateta, not the greatest touch, but for me, still has to score that. You have to give credit to the save. It is a big save from Raya. He didn't have too much to do all game. Yeah, he makes the double save from Sarr, from the Mateta shot and the Sarr header as well for the rebounds. I think both shots can be better from Mateta and from Sarr for the two instances where Raya has to make the save for the rebound and the mistake from Saliba. But it still needs to be saved. Keeper still has to step up and do his job. And that's what David Raya did. And it kind of goes under the radar a little bit, but he is doing his job to a very high standard, but especially when it comes to commanding your box and picking up crosses as well. It's very important. We saw the other day what happened to Bayender. We see what happens to Vicario. We've seen what happens from set pieces, how they can change games, even if you're playing well, and it can almost deflate the team, you know? So I understand Arsenal fans are going to be worried about the Saka injury, but if Arsenal can play like that and Gabriel just can maintain his form, then, you know, maybe they can get through the next 3-4 weeks. We'll see maybe if he's going to be back before the first leg for Newcastle for their semi-final in the Carabao Cup. But we'll see. I believe the first leg's at the Emirates anyways. So as long as they can kind of win and get over the line, then they see how well they can kind of fare at St. James's Park. But genuinely, if you look at the whole performance from Arsenal, it's very, very professional. And going forward, they just looked a lot more fluid. And for me, they could have had more. They could have had more. You know, Crystal Palace, you can see they missed Eze today. They missed a little bit of quality going forward. That little bit of, you know, that spark, that creative spark to just create at a better rate that they were. And Lacroix was looking very solid at first, but, you know, I guess the quality just shines through in the end. And I think that's what Arsenal done. I just think that, you know, the set piece thing can kind of go out the window. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like, come on, guys. Are we still going to really run the set piece thing with Arsenal now? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're back, but Arsenal were never really fully out of it, in my opinion. I think they're still in this race. Just about. This is still a massive game to get over the line. We still got to play Tottenham away. Chelsea still have to play Everton away. 2 games, you know what I'm saying? It's better to have your points on the board. And Arsenal got their points on the board and they've closed that gap and they put the pressure on. So I can't hate. What I would say is that credit to Arteta. I think he got the setup right today as well. He made the right call at left back. And of course, Timber being as solid as ever as right back as well. So I think that midfield performance of Partey and Odegaard and Havertz was a decent mix. I think Havertz was quiet but gets his goal, so fair dues to him. But I'd say, yeah, I was impressed today. Partey was very good today as well with his little passes through the lines, and he's been not even quietly. He's been Arsenal's best midfielder this season, in my opinion. And I don't think he's going to slow down anytime soon. And he's staying fit. I think that's what people are forgetting. Partey's staying fit. Like, that's one thing that people aren't really talking about. But yeah, if we're going to go man of the match, obviously it's going to be Gabby Jesus again. We'll see if he carries on his goal scoring streak. Ipswich at home, I believe, is their next game. So that has to be another steamrolling for Arsenal standards at the Emirates after the disappointing game against Everton at the Emirates. So yeah, man, I think they're back to their goal scoring ways. And we'll see if they can carry on. Listen, it's been another episode of Big Six Pants. If you've made it this far, do like and smash the likes, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. My man of the match was obviously Gabby Jesus. Let me know your opinions on the game and what you think, obviously, of the Saka injury and how it might affect Arsenal going forward. Take care. See you soon. It's been another episode of Big Six Pants, and we'll see you in the next one.